Hi everyone. I'm just going to record a short presentation here for you about teamwork and what makes an effective team. So first of all, why is it that we are trying to get you to do teamwork and work together? Well, because this is what employees are wanting, of course. So first of all, we know you can do it, but we're also going to be helping you to go through that process. So it's one of the top attributes that employers are looking for in the science, technology, engineering, and math fields. So being able to collaborate within a team environment was emphasized as critical. You are rarely in your life going to be working in isolation. And the better you can get used to working together and putting things together as a team, the better. So I'm just going to provide a bit of a summary of working in teams. Usually 3 or more people working towards a particular goal. And no, it's not always easy. There are these things called group dynamics and team dynamics, which I have written about in the reading that you can see connected to this. So what does a poorly performing team look like? Not much purpose, pretty bad communication, no clear roles, poor leadership, no team spirit, and no plan. Oh dear. And also free riders. Do you want to be a free rider? I hope not, because nobody likes a free rider. But they don't mind if somebody's struggling a bit and they come forward and let them know. Big difference. So there's this idea that a team will start out as a group of people, and they'll start off by norming. They'll form, and there's a bit of not very clear agreement. So hello, everyone's being very polite. And then as time goes on, the characters start to come out, and you start to have a little bit more conflict around ideas, and then you are storming as a group. But this also helps to clarify your purpose. There might be some power struggles and you're working it all out, but hopefully once you've come through that, you'll be norming, you'll be doing well, and moving forwards even further, you'll be performing. So our role is to try and get you through to that performing focused place as soon as possible. And then, of course, you get to sit back and enjoy all the fruits of your collaborative labor. So there's a few students from a few years back who used to do marshmallow spaghetti towers. I don't know if we'll be doing that in COVID times. Another well-known effective team on the Starship Enterprise. So first of all, goals and objectives are number one. You having a clear and unified purpose is everything for a team. So getting on the same page as early as possible. Having a good meeting, what's a good meeting? Everyone knows when it is. A clear purpose, why are we meeting? What are we doing today? What are we actually going to be covering? Clear roles within the team meetings. So who's going to be taking notes? Who's going to be facilitating? Who's keeping track of time and making sure you don't just have a big old chat fest? Everyone contributes, good communication, and leads to action points. And always, don't forget when you have a meeting, remember to set the date for your next meeting and send some notes around, also known as minutes. So in order to work effectively, members of teams need to collaborate. So it's actually an enormous amount of successes around being able to work with people and engage with people effectively. And shockingly, only 15% of your success is due to technical knowledge. So not only is collaboration a nice thing to do, it's good for you and it's productive. So in terms of working together, you need to be able to communicate, negotiate, be fair, and be cohesive. And we actually, as a part of this assessment, ask you to think about these things, what each of you would like to contribute towards the team, and when are you going to do it. So the plan, the milestone table. This is your first real go at project management and collaboration together. So, and yes, of course, and you've got the free riders of people, someone isn't helping out. This is the thing that causes the most angst. And this often, it can be down to the early conversations that you have with your team. Are you going for a high distinction? No, I'm not. Actually, I'm really happy just to get a pass because I'm extremely busy in my life right now. Good. Okay, well, I really want a high distinction. And I really need someone to be able to put in the same amount of work. So I'm going to look for a different team member. Or, well, that's okay. I've actually got all the time in the world to work on this, and I don't mind doing a little bit more than my fair share. But setting up those expectations early is really important. And also you'll have a team wiki, which will be once we set you up in your groups during the tutorial or at the residential, we'll help you set up in the group and we'll show you where you can access your wiki, which is where you can share all of the material that will be eventually marking as part of the assessment. So support and feedback. Make sure your colleagues, your team partners are acknowledged in their contribution. If it isn't up to standard, it's better to let them know than let it slide. If there's some plagiarism that you find in their work, you need to just let them know about that, because plagiarism is a common mistake, particularly in the first session of uni. So without blame, hey, look, this isn't ideal, and that's nice for you to pick up on it and help them. And the team needs to work together to improve it. So don't forget to do the Myers-Briggs Team Up quiz, which is in the Module 3B folder. And this will give you some insight into who you are and how you might work together with others. Are you a rescuer or a coordinator? I mean, in effect, you're a parent. Communication is the key. Communication. Have a plan, have a structure. Make sure everyone in your team has a voice. So remember to give everyone a chance to speak, especially the quiet people. Admit you're wrong, don't blame people, keep the goal in sight, and trust others to do what they say they're going to do. If somebody's quiet, ask them, what are your thoughts on this? That's why I really do love yarning circles, because everyone gets a chance to talk. Check in, are we on the right track? Or you might not get valuable input from that team member. And also, make sure they have understood what you say, and sometimes that might mean repeating back what they've said to you. And that's why action plans are really important, and the action plans that are sent around are really important, so everyone understands equally what took place at a meeting. If you've made a mistake, admit it, move on. But if you don't admit it, that can lead to a build-up of resentment. Sorry. Okay, being blame-free, don't blame others. It's not nice. Keep the goal in sight. What's the next step? Think about what's the best way towards your goals. And understand that sometimes some things do go nowhere, but and that can be frustrating, but try to keep moving and just make sure that you are all on the same page. And that's why it's really important to have a good kick-off meeting for any team. And even if you do work remotely, in other places for most of it, you have that opportunity to come together, whether it's online or in the classroom. At least once, you can really develop your goals and plans better. So trust others. Let your team know how you feel. I don't feel heard. I couldn't bring more to this. I feel they're decisions we should make as a group. And just learn to come forward and discuss those things. If you have an issue, bring it up, bring it out early so it can be dealt with. If you don't know you have a problem, it can't be solved. And if you have a really big problem with your team, and there really is someone who is not showing up at all, let me know. Do email me as a UA. Because it can be a flag that I can actually contact the student and find out if they might be struggling, or if people fall behind. And some people, often the people who are the biggest perfectionists are the ones who fall behind because they put a lot more pressure on themselves. So that can create even more build up. So a synergistic team has alignment of goals and objectives, and structure, leadership and communication. There a few interesting animations in this one. Also, if you don't have a clear goal, you can have unfocused energy and conflict. But focused energy sends you all in the right direction together. Isn't that nice? So, tips for your teamwork. When you have your first kickoff meeting, swap numbers, email addresses, LinkedIn accounts, Facebook accounts, swap numbers, set up a messenger group, discuss your expectations. As I said, make sure you are on the same page, you're aiming for the same thing. Have a well-planned kickoff meeting, write an agenda, set up team roles early. You might have someone who's responsible for checking the wiki each week and saying, hey, Freddie, you haven't done this little bit you do. Do you want to make sure you do? Because we will be checking it every week to make sure that just to see how you're progressing in relation to your own goals. Set up your team roles early. Choose a person who's going to run each meeting, and it can be a different person each time. As nervous as you may feel, you're never going to get better at it if you don't give it a go. So speak up clearly and respectfully, make a plan, take notes, stay in communication, especially if you're unlikely to make a deadline. And it is, there's often conflicts arise, but it's how you manage any conflict or conflicting ideas that count. So also when you put together your team plan and your contribution agreement, make sure that you're as detailed as possible. Don't forget there's a reading associated with this, and I just ask that you read the introduction. This will really help you to just get an understanding of the conceptual things behind teamwork. And also there is a tutorial activity. This is the Myers-Briggs Team Up survey, and see the tutorial lecture slides for guidance, complete the survey as an individual, and then you will have a team wiki, and once you've done the Myers-Briggs Team Up survey, you use 10 marks to assess your teammates. So it's one of the first things you'll put up on your wiki, along with your team contribution agreements. Wonderful, thanks everyone. I really look forward to seeing how your team projects come together. And yeah, thanks. This is my son Tristan. He's decided to join us in this short video. So thanks everyone for your time, and I look forward to seeing how all your assessments come.